Now, Friday, 20th June 2025, exactly 1 p.m. It's time for Lunchtime News. My name is Giverson. Maina. Start interacting with us on our social media platforms at KBC TV and at Giverson Maina. Of course, our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Now we begin. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has raised a red flag over increased coalition between county attorneys and unscrupulous private developers to fleece county resources. Western Regional EACC Manager Eric Gumbi revealed that the attorneys failed to advise counties properly in most situations, seeking alternative dispute resolution that has seen counties lose colossal sums of money. He spoke as he addressed Western Region security heads in Mumias. Achola Simon with the details.
The Western Region Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Manager Eric Ngubi revealed that a worrying trend involving county attorneys and unscrupulous business persons has seen counties lose cases in courts or public resources.
A grabber comes, colludes with the officials within the county government. They agree that the grabber goes to court to sue the county. And then officers in the county agree not to defend the case, so that somehow there will be a judgment in favor of the grabber. Or while the proceedings are in court, we are seeing cases of collusion with attorneys in the counties where they are advising their county governments to do ADR.
He said the attorneys failed to file defense in court and advised counties to seek alternative dispute resolution mechanism, mostly to the detriment of the counties.
The government land that is in the hands of private persons can be utilized in a very big way to support the affordable housing project, because there are towns where the government is looking for land that can be used for that project.
He also decried the increased appetite of public land grabbing, with an estimated 25% of public land in urban areas already grabbed by unscrupulous private developers.
From the pattern arising from the investigations that the Commission has undertaken into matters of land, it is estimated that over 25% of government land in the urban areas of the 4 counties constituting the Western region is grabbed and is in private hands.
Ngumbi revealed that in Busia County, land belonging to the airstrip has been grabbed and subdivided. In Bungoma, land belonging to railways has been grabbed, and the commission is working round the clock to recover it.
After receiving a report that the Busia airstrip, as it then has been subdivided into 163 plots, now in the hands of private persons. In the same Busia, we have also restricted a money market, which is also in private hands, and we are already in court.
In Kakamega County, the house of a deputy commissioner has been grabbed too. It is not all gloom, as his office, he says, has removed land worth 320 million shillings in the last 1 year.
And now, the National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, has raised an alarm over the rising cases of police brutality against unarmed protesters. NCCK chairperson Reverend Dr. Elias Ogola has warned that the church will not hesitate to call out security personnel over any wrongdoing. There has been a national outcry by Kenyans across the country over the use of excessive force by police. The case of Albert Ojwang, who died in the hands of police, and most recently a mask vendor, Boniface Karaoke, who was shot in Nairobi Central Business District during a protest held this week Tuesday. Kenyans have demanded accountability for those found culpable.
We condemn by all terms strongly the abductions, the killings, and the maimings of our youth. It happened the other day when people just had some fracas in Nairobi and other cities. and very many lives were lost. One life lost is rather too much for too many for any of a country.
And our police in Makueni and Kajiado counties are investigating two separate incidents of sexual assault. The first incident was reported in Muka constituency, Makueni County, where a woman and her 20-year-old daughter are said to have been sexually assaulted by burglars who invaded their house on Tuesday night. The second incident was reported in Ibilisi, or rather Ibilisi town of Kajiado County, on Wednesday night, where a 50-year-old disabled woman was allegedly raped in her family home.
Residents of Muka sub-county in Makueni County are still in shock following a burglary, sexual assault incident and theft of livestock at one of the houses in the area. It's alleged that 4 men broke into one of the houses at around 11 p.m. on Tuesday night and tied the husband with ropes before raping his wife and daughter, and later walked away with 46 goats.
Pikia watu wakuje tuende hapo. Wengine wanasema hawatoki kwa sababu mvua inanyesha. Na hiyo ni kuchangia. Sasa nilitoka nikaenda na wafanyakazi wangu. Tukaenda tukaingia tukakuta mambo imeharibika.
The family raised the alarm and neighbors intervened and managed to recover 40 goats. The suspects managed to escape with 6 goats.
Kwa sababu wanakuja na magari, wanaweza kutuibia buzi, wanaweza iba ng'ombe, waweze kupeana hiyo information kwa polisi wetu ndio waweze kuhakikisha usalama wetu umeimarika katika eneo letu.
The incident sparked outrage with the residents accusing the police of laxity.
Tukishika waizi pale Malele police post, aturudishiwe nini feedback. Wale waizi wanaotuibia. Hivi majuzi kuna ng'ombe tulishika katika area ya kwangu. Tukaenda kushika karibu ICT na kuna washukiwa walishikwa. Baadaye waliposhikwa kesi hatujui ilienda namna gani.
Tumekuwa hapa tukiwa na uchungu mwingi sana. For the last 2 months hatujawahi pata usingizi. Tunafanya patrol na wa chief mpaka saa 8. Tukimaliza patrol nazika mifuko inaibiwa.
They are demanding action by the police to unmask the perpetrators as well as to ensure their safety.
Tunashirikiana na wananchi ambaye tumekutana hata saa hizi na wananchi wa hii area. Tumekubaliana tushirikiane, tuwe tunapasha, to share information, tuhakikishe hii maneno itakuwa imeisha kabisa.
Elsewhere, a 50-year-old woman living with disability from Busia town is seeking justice after she was allegedly raped and abandoned in a bush.
Nikamkuta akilia, nikamuuliza nini imemtendekea, akaniambia, mimi nikaona sio mzuri na hii si jambo la kawaida kwa mama mwenye aoni. Mimi nikambeba, tukaenda kwa mama wa Kinjinji, tukaeleza mama wa Kinjinji.
The blind woman is said to have been ambushed by an unidentified individual on Wednesday night in her family home within Busia township.
Ya usiji ni nani huyo anaenda tu natoa hiyo mtu hakuna macho, aende tu anajaribu tu anaoa. Na naomba kama ni kijana yetu, naomba tu wachana sisi kina mama. Wachana kina mama.
She narrated her ordeal.
Hiyo mtu alifungua milango na akaninyonga, akanipeleka porini. Kaenda akanibaka, kunimalizia huko porini, akaniacha, nikapiga nduru. Hiyo nduru ndiyo imeniokoa, nikakujiwa na hiyo msia wangu.
The victim was rushed to LBC dispensary for treatment before she was transferred to Kajiado Referral Hospital.
When she came, she was in a company of some neighbors. We started immediately attending to her. She was given a preference of bypassing the queue.
Timothy Kipnosu for Lunchtime News.
And our residents of Burubu flats in Harambee Ward, Nairobi County, are accusing the county government of using goons to illegally and forcefully evict them from their homes. The tenants, some of whom claim to have lived in the houses for more than 30 years, say they were forcibly thrown out of their homes despite having cleared all their outstanding rent arrears. The residents have also decried the destruction and theft of their property during the eviction process. According to the area's MCA, Anthony Kimemia, efforts to engage the county government have proven futile, calling on the county boss Johnson Sakaja's intervention to solve the tussle.
Hiyo Wednesday ilikuwa imefuata,
ndio nipeleke deni kalipe ile pesa walikuwa wanataka 50%. Niliitwa nikiwa City Hall. Ati kuna watu wako kwa nyumba yangu wamevunja, wanatoa vitu, wasichana wanachukua bag zangu, wengine wanavaa nguo zangu wakitembea huku nazo. Hata hakuna kitu nilipata.
Wataki kuangalia risiti, wataki, wanasema wana time, wametumwa. Sasa hiyo kufika napata vitu zishatolewa nje, zimebebwa. Watoto wanatoka shule wanahangaika huku, sina mahali pa kwenda, nyumba amefunga na wataki kunisikiza.
Hakuna vile mtu ambaye ameishi kwa hii nyumba miaka 40 amekosa tu kulipa miezi miwili, miezi mitatu. Na kuna mwingine pia amelipa up to the last cent na bado nyumba yake imekuwa allocated kwa mtu mwingine. Tunamwambia afuate due process.
Bona wana allocate watu manyumba, watu wakiwa ndani ya manyumba. Hatujaona any notice, hatujaona any gazettement. So tungeomba governor awache mambo mingi kwa sababu anasema yeye hajui, director anasema yeye hajui. Now we want us to be told ni nani ana allocate manyumba.
And away from that, we take you straight to Marsabit County, where pastoralists who were affected by drought and floods in northern Hor, Marsabit County, have called on the national and county governments to come to their aid and help all affected families. The families who revealed that they are currently depending on well-wishers for survival, adding that many families live in abject poverty. PASIDA, a non-governmental organization, is currently helping the locals to get back to their fate.
Sasa mimi naomba hata wafadhili wote watusaidie kwa sababu wakitupatia hii pesa ikiisha tunarudi tu kama mbeleni. Na hakuna kitu tutajisaidia naye.
Tegemeo wengine hakuna, ni msaada tu watu wanapata chakula ya relief ama pengine hii cash transfer. Hakuna tegemeo lingine, wote wanategemea.
These communities rely on rain-fed agriculture, and when we experience a long droughts, we are essentially saying that they will not be able to harvest anything and they have to rely on humanitarian relief.
What we are doing is we are supporting this community to be able to form groups. And from these groups, we support these groups, either women groups or men group or youth groups, to be able to be given grants for them to start alternative livelihoods, to be able to stand these shocks if it comes in future.
Now, Kisumu County has signed an agreement with the American pharmaceutical company that will see the company set up a drug packaging plant for sickle cell and related diseases in the Lakeside County. Kisumu County government, on the other hand, will facilitate land allocation, fast-track regulatory approvals, and offer incentives geared towards promoting industrial and health sector growth. 20% of Kisumu County residents have traits of sickle cell disease, with 2% have a full-blown sickle cell disease. The MOU therefore seeks to ensure routine newborn screening in all public health facilities in the county, ensure sustainable supply of affordable pediatric-friendly drugs, as well as deploy digital technologies to track, treat, and follow up with the patients through an integrated sickle cell registry.
Is facilitated the establishment of a pharmaceutical farm here, which is going to manufacture drugs for treating sickle cell and allied diseases. This is important because sickle cell is a very prevalent disease, as you heard in the speeches here, and we cannot continue relying on importing drugs from abroad. First, it's expensive. Secondly, sometimes it may not be there. And thirdly, we need to control and ensure that what we get is what we is valid.
Kisumu is our first hub, and why we chose Kisumu is because of one, the support that the governor has given us all this time. Two, Kisumu is the epicenter of sickle cell disease. So whatever we want to build, we should be able to support the region at large, meaning that Kisumu will be the distributing hub not just for Kenya or the neighboring counties, but also will be able to supply these drugs to Uganda and regional. And that actually is good because it also brings income and foreign income into not just Kisumu as a county, but also Kenya in general.
We want to get in as quickly as possible. We want to start changing the lives of these kids. So we will start with packaging here, but our strategy is to be able to have entire manufacturing here locally.
Now, business owners in Kasarani and Mweki areas are crying foul, alleging harassment and demands for bribes by persons posing as officers of a multi-agency team comprising of Kenya Revenue Authority officers and staff of the Kenya Bureau of Standards Consumer Protection Unit. The business owners claim the imposters are colluding with police officers, travel in private cars and fail to identify themselves. They say the individuals check for expired goods and arrest traders before soliciting for funds when they are booked in police stations. They're now calling on the government and relevant bodies to investigate the syndicate.
Wanapokuja kwenye biashara lako wanasema
Now, we apologize for that technical hitch, but away from that, the National Construction Authority, NCA, in collaboration with the State Department for Public Works, has embarked on sensitization exercise of the newly launched National Building Code 2024 to contractors and residents of Busia County. Speaking during a stakeholders meeting in Kapenguria, NCA Chairperson Mercy Okiro said the sessions are aimed at promoting order and enhancing safety in construction works across the country. West Pokot Deputy Governor Robert Komole acknowledged that many contractors in the county were still using outdated. The new code comes at a crucial time, especially when the region is experiencing increased construction activities. The National Building Code 2024 seeks to harmonize construction practices nationwide and ensure compliance with international safety and quality standards.
Unaweza jenga nyumba yako na unaona unaanza kubomoa tena ukiongeza, ambapo ungekuwa na code mpya ambayo imefika sasa, ambayo inatuelekeza katika ujenzi ya nyumba, ambapo imetufaidi sisi hata environment, kuwa na hiyo sheria zote za ujenzi.
Na wale technical team wetu pia tumeambia wao keti wakae na waweze kupata masomo ya sheria huu ili tuweze tukawatumia wao kutusaidia katika ujenzi katika kaunti yetu ya West Pokot.
Na pia mambo ya gas, kama mnajua Kenya saa hizi gas ilikuwa inawekwa mtungi kando. Hii code inasema gas iwekwe vile internet inawekwa kwa Eurocode, ile nchi za ng'ambo ikuwe part of it. Na ukiangalia pia hiyo ndio njia inatumiwa kwa affordable housing sasa. Hakuna kununua mtungi ya gas yenye unaweka kando, juu pia inasaidia safety ya building. Pia ina allow sasa wananchi 1968 hiyo code haikuwa inapatia wananchi ile allowance ya kutumia local materials, but sasa hii code yenye tunahamasisha wananchi kuhusu ina allow.
And now from West Pokot to take you straight to Laikipia School in Nanyuki. It's a niche in the music industry. Three Rivers Academy has stunned many with their music performances during national events and celebrations, making the school band the most sought after to perform during various functions in the region. According to the school music instructor, the pupils don't have any background in playing music. However, their passion and dedication have contributed immensely to their performance. The school has performed during notable events including Madaraka and Jamhuri Day celebrations and local functions, among others.
With character, these students have been performing very well academically, and we have confidence that they will perform very well anywhere they'll be working.
In the process of training, I discovered they actually have great interest. One of the things that actually pushes our band is the interest. Okay, the kids, you find they create their own time, even outside the classroom, to rehearse. Then they go beyond what I teach them.
I joined the music band. It really inspires me. I really love music, and I play the cymbals and the trombone.
Now from Laikipia, we take you straight to Kwale. And Path to Russia, a non-governmental organization, has initiated a partnership program with 4 schools in Kwale County for the implementation of education projects in the region. The organization's chairperson, Anna Semenova, said that the program aims to address challenges facing learners to improve the standards of education in the area. Among the challenges are the lack of school supplies and birth certificates among learners, as well as a good nutrition program in schools. However, learners are expected to benefit from Russian language training and educational materials through the organization's support.
We have been partnering since February last year. You can see the difference. They have computer lab. We have helped them. They have hosted that football function for the community. If you are the one hosting a big function here, of course it is good for your reputation. Many people come here. Of course you get something as coordinators, so it's good for you.
So it's 2 words. Can you pronounce it?
Another story takes us to a short commercial break, but don't go too fast. Still so much more coming your way.
They say the earth without art would just be get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Ukipata mtoto wako na ulemavu, the only thing hawa watoto wanahitaji ni upendo. Ukipenda huyu mtoto na umuonyeshe mapenzi, si ile ya kujifanya, ile mapenzi ya ukweli, huyo mtoto atagrow, uta-identify hata talents zake, sababu wako na talent.
We have seen many parents, they get stuck in the denial stage. They give birth to these children, then they don't accept. They stay in the denial stage. Once they stay in the denial stage, they now move to getting depression.
Life of a caregiver is very tough, very tough.
Having a child with a disability is stigma enough. Ningependa watu wajue persons with disability, we are humans, and I thank God for people who are fighting for our rights.
The men and women in boats, they are commanded to defend and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Kenya. Their bravery knows no limits.
Make a man go through the wall without breaking the wall.
Laziness, it is not in our vocabulary.
But what are their stories, their tales? Military Tales, every Saturday at 9 p.m. with Ben Troy Joe.
Now welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. We move on. The Public Benefit Organization CEO Dr. Laxmana Kipto has assured members of the public that the Public Benefit Act will enforce regulations that will address the briefcase NGOs that have become rampant in the country. Speaking during a public participation forum in Garissa, Dr. Kipto said that the law will eliminate briefcase non-governmental organizations which are only established to siphon donor funds. Garissa Civil Society Network Chairperson Khalifa Nunde applauded the move, saying NGOs must be held accountable with mandatory reporting requirements, audits, and allowing members of the public to access information on their activities.
Before the county, you know, it is actually faith-based organizations, civil society that were running. In places like Turkana and in places like Northeastern, Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, we have had these organizations that were trying to help out. There was a clause which was actually restricting us, telling us that the county secretary has to operate, and it took about 12 years. We are glad that this thing has at long last come.
So we are here today to collect their views, and we've started with this Northeastern region. Then we'll proceed to the other parts of the country, and the exercise begins today, and it will culminate in exercise, a validation exercise that we'll be having in Nairobi in the month of late July. Then we'll be able to collate and put all those views together, and we will take the regulations to Parliament.
And away from that, Busia County is reporting a drop in the cases of stunted growth amongst children aged 5 years and below, attributing the change to nutrition interventions. This was revealed during the launch of two policy documents, the Nutrition Plan and the County Agri-Nutrition Implementation Strategy. The County Executive Committee member in charge of agriculture in the county, George Mukok, said they will ensure a constant supply of subsidy fertilizers and seeds for the farmers to boost food production. Dr. Susan Outa, the Chief Officer of Health, commended efforts by the stakeholders to prioritize nutrition sensitization. Statistics rather show a drop in cases of malnutrition in the county from 22.5% to 15% in the last few years.
Tunapeana pesa kwa wakulima, unakuza, alafu tunanunua, tunapeleka hawa watoto. We are not buying food from supermarkets, we are buying from the farmers. Tulianza na mchele Bunyala, hawa watoto watakula beans. What we do as a government ni avail hiyo mbegu inota beans. The model ni kupeana parent ulime gorogoro 5 upeleke kwa shule penye mtoto wako anasoma. Alafu ingine ubakishe nyumbani, mtoto akikula kwa shule asikuwe na njaa nyumbani.
The two documents before you promise a future where no child goes to bed hungry, a future where mothers have knowledge and means to feed their children diverse, safe and nutritious foods.
I want to acknowledge that prevention is not only in the health sector, but also from the coordination from agriculture, water, and education.
Kuja huku. Haya, hapo chuma hapo hivyo basi. Wengine hapa.
And we take you to Kimu County, where Thika Water and Sewerage Company has announced plans to expand its water treatment facilities to pump an additional 15,000 cubic meters of water per day. Speaking during the company's annual stakeholders meeting, Managing Director Engineer Moses Kinya revealed that the expansion is part of a broader strategy to ensure reliable water access for the fast-growing population. They will also receive an additional 21,000 cubic meters of water per day from the Kiriminu 2 dam once the fund is secured. Board Chairperson Maina noted that the company has long-term plans to construct a 40-meter-high mega dam. which will increase the current capacity. Meanwhile, Thika Business Community Chairperson Alfred Wanyoike called on the national government to fast-track funding and allow the WASCO to operate independently to address persistent water shortages.
There are various internally funded projects, and one of them is to increase our supply from the existing treatment works, which we have started. We have finished the first phase of installing the raw water pumps, energy efficient and of higher capacity.
We expect to put up a dam under the DSIF, that is the Danish government support, a dam at the junction of Kiama River and Thika River, where we'll manage, after putting up the dam, we'll get 70,000 meter cube per day.
Sisi tumesema kama na Thika na wanabiashara ya kwamba maji ya Thika na kampuni ya Thika ya WASCO ni ya watu ya Thika kwanza kabla hajaenda Kiambu.
And 2 women perished in a road accident outside the gate of the Kisii National Polytechnic, attracting the ire of students over the increased road accidents around the area and expressing fear over their safety from rogue drivers. According to the police, the accident occurred when the driver of a speeding matatu headed for the Kisii town along Keroka-Kisii Highway allegedly lost control due to the brake failure and rammed into another matatu that had just stopped to drop passengers. 10 passengers are in critical condition, while 12 others sustained serious injuries and have been admitted to Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital.
Ambacho kilitokea, tuliona gari ya Simba Lion ilikuwa imesimama kule, na gari ingine ilikuwa inateremka kutoka juu ambayo ilikuwa labeled. It was almost white. I'm colorblind. Hiyo gari wakati iliteremka ikagonga hii gari ingine kutoka nyuma, kuigonga na hivyo tu accident.
Hakuna bumps mingi, nataka iwekwe bumps mingi kutoka juu huko Kereri mpaka
hatuna barabara
mpaka huko nini huko daraja moja. Sasa ama tuwekewe footpath yenye tutapanda juu kama wanafunzi turuke na huko chini ndio tuwe safe. Sasa hapo hatukwage safe kabisa. Magari nao, madereva nao ni wengi, yani wanaendesha gari kama wakiwa wamelewa, alafu wanaendesha tena na ile speed ile kubwa kabisa.
And our condolences to the families who lost their loved ones, and of course quick recovery to the injured. And away from that, the intersection between heritage science and innovation took center stage at the National Museums of Kenya as the 8th Science Expo officially opened its doors. The event also witnessed the commissioning of a groundbreaking indigenous knowledge management system, a first of its kind on the continent. Here is Alvin Kaunda with a report.
Held under the theme Economic Transformation Through Heritage Conservation, the 3-day Science Expo is a multi-sectoral platform spotlighting how Kenya's cultural heritage can drive inclusive and sustainable development. Cabinet Secretary for Gender, Culture and Arts and Heritage, Hannah Cheptumo, presided over the launch that brought together researchers, conservationists, innovators and traditional knowledge holders from across the country.
The Heritage-Based Enterprises Agenda by National Museums of Kenya seeks to support cottage industries through promotion of indigenous products, value chains in the national government-funded county aggregation industrial parks, and contribute directly to the attainment of the bottom-up transformation agenda development priorities.
Exhibition on environment and climate change, agricultural transformation, heritage and One Health, as well as enterprise innovation, gave attendees a hands-on experience of how science and tradition are merging to address 21st century challenges.
Snakes play a very important role in our ecosystem. They feed on some of the animals, especially the rodents, which they also spread some diseases. So by controlling the population of these rodents, they help in reducing the spread of some of the diseases.
So one thing we train the farmers here is how to do soil analysis so that they can get the properties of the soil, and that property will help them know the fertilizers they are going to use.
One of the key highlights was the commissioning of the Indigenous Knowledge Management System developed through the Department of Documentation and Information project in 13 counties.
The exhibitions are diverse and will serve to offer opportunities for constructive engagement with key stakeholders and other interest groups,
forming a national digital repository of Kenya's rich indigenous intellectual. Kenya's rich tapestry of heritage is now not only being preserved but positioned for prosperity. And with platforms like the Indigenous Knowledge Management System, the future of our past might just be the engine of tomorrow's economy. Alvin Kaunda reporting for KBC Channel 1 at the National Museums of Kenya, Nairobi.
Now we take you to Nandi County, where Islamic leaders in the North Rift have condemned the recent acts of lawlessness witnessed during the Tuesday protest in Nairobi. Speaking in Kapsabet, Nandi County, the religious leaders led by Abu Bakr Bini said it was worrying to see the incidents of killings and violence in the city, which they said threatened peace in the country. They want the president to call for a national dialogue as one of the measures of promoting unity among Kenyans.
Tunataka kulizungumzia suala hili nyeti ambalo limejitokeza la maandamano baina ya serikali na vijana wanaitwa Gen Z wanafanya maandamano. Sisi tumesikitishwa sana kuona mali inaharibiwa. Wizi unaonekana waziwazi, na ili hali sisi tunatoa kodi kulipa polisi, askari kulinda mali. La kutusikitisha zaidi imekuwa ni kinyume. Watu wanakuja na vijana wanakuja na mipini, wanasema wanakuja kulinda biashara zisiharibiwe. Tungeliomba kuwe na amani na utulivu. Kila mtu afanye kazi kulingana na sharia inavyomwelekeza. Ikiwa serikali yetu, katiba yetu imeruhusu maandamano, wafanye bila ya kuharibu mali, na polisi ni kuwalinda, sio kuwaadhibu.
And I change focus now. Health experts and players in the pharmaceutical sector are calling on the Kenyan government to prioritize the local production of anti-malaria drugs to reduce dependency on imports and tackle the high burden of malaria, especially among children under the age of 5 years and pregnant women. Speaking at the Universal Corporation Limited, Dr. Martin Fischert of the Medicines for Malaria Venture emphasized the need to support African pharmaceutical manufacturing, citing the dangers of counterfeit drugs and impact of climate change and resistance.
Currently, 95% of anti-malarial medicines are imported, and alarmingly, up to half of the drugs in circulation may be counterfeit, contributing to an estimated 300,000 preventable deaths each year.
It's up to 50% of medicines in Africa are fakes, and fake medicines can cause significant problems. Up to 300,000 people can die a year because they take fake medicine.
Experts warn that climate change, poverty, and growing drug resistance are making the fight against malaria even more complex.
Climate change can push some regions into that dangerous zone, but also can push some regions out of that danger zone. Probably one of the biggest problems, however, what climate change gives us is through climate shock.
According to the experts, despite these challenges, Kenya can manufacture enough anti-malarial drugs to meet the national demand, but stronger government support is needed, especially in purchasing and distribution.
The malaria parasite is a very crafty parasite, and it adapts to new medicines, and it becomes resistant to the effect of those medicines. So we must stay ahead of it. And in partnership with our African colleagues, we need to develop new medicines that stay ahead of drug resistance.
The private sector is also being called upon to take a more active role in prevention and treatment by investing in sustainable malaria solutions and working closely with public health systems. The experts also recommend increased investment in local drugs manufacturing, enhanced public awareness, improved diagnostics, and more effective mosquito control measures to eliminate the disease.
We need to see more government support in procuring local medicines and hopefully quality. I mean, we have also got a quality certificate because it's WHO pre-qualified.
Sylvia Gatti, reporting for Lunchtime News.
Our gears to the world of business. Architects and quantity surveyors are turning to artificial intelligence in developing the built environment in a bid to improve efficiency in the sector. But will technology be the panacea to all the problems affecting the sector, such as safety and ethical issues? Our reporter Alan Aoko is now joining us from the ongoing Board of Registration of the Architects and Quantity Surveyors Conference at the Safari Park Hotel. For more details, Alan, bring us to speed.
Thank you so much, Giverson. You are correct. We are at the Borax conference, and this is day 2. We were here yesterday, and we are here again today. And the theme is empowering the built environment professionals in artificial intelligence. Let me not bore you with my own understanding of what this means in entirety. Let me bring in the people who can speak best to this issue, which is just to how can we bring our construction professionals into the use of artificial intelligence. I have a wealth of people who can speak to us here. I can begin with Mr. Chairman, Karibu Sana, Architect Karibu Sana. Just give us a small brief on why we are here today and why is artificial intelligence important in being incorporated in the work that your professionals do.
Thank you very much. I'm the chairman of the Board of Registration of Architects and Quant Surveyors. My name is Sylvester Muli. We are here, as we've always been, every year to discuss on topical matters that affects the practice of architects and quant surveyors in Kenya. Today's and yesterday's session is about artificial intelligence. This is the second time we are discussing about artificial intelligence. The first one was a few months ago, where we got an introductory of what artificial intelligence entails. Today's session is about an in-depth understanding of artificial intelligence and the tools available for both architects and quant surveyors to make their work more efficient and cost-effective. We've lined a horde of presenters, both locally and from outside the country, who have embraced artificial intelligence in their work. And they have been able to demonstrate to our architects and quant surveyors what artificial intelligence can do. Indeed, it's a new innovation. Just like technology is evolving, now we are with artificial intelligence, where we are getting people or machines to be able to tell us how we can do what we've always done, but in a better way and more effective way. We've also have, apart from architects, we've got even engineers, we've got manufacturers and suppliers. They too have been able to demonstrate to us that they have also embraced artificial intelligence in their processes of manufacturing, in their processes of enhancing their products and making sure their products are environmentally friendly. And we are happy.
Thank you very much, Architect Sylvester Muli. Let's also speak with Bwana CEO. Welcome, and talk to us maybe about the applications, the specific applications that these professionals are using or incorporating using AI at this point in time, even as it's technology that is still emerging and people are getting used to it.
Thank you. My name is Mwongera Rokaria. I'm the CEO of the Borax. First, even before I speak about application, I need to speak about the policy. One, as a board, we are working very hard with the rest of the government arms or ministries that regulate the use of AI in our economy, and we want to align our laws and policies to make sure that the architects, quantity surveyors, and other professionals within the construction industry are using AI effectively to be able to add value in the industry. Again, in terms of the specific application, currently we have many AI applications that are in supply in the economy. And architects, for example, are using their specific for design. Quantity surveyors, as part for costing. They are also using their many various applications that are assisting them to costs. And also in terms of the construction project management and documentation. And as a board, we are negotiating with many partners to make sure that we get the right product for the right job. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your sentiment. Of course, maybe we have a few minutes left, a few seconds rather, but maybe from the construction side, from your sector, what do you see is emerging from where you stand in the construction industry, sir? Mr. Tom.
Thank you. From the Crown Paints perspective, in artificial intelligence, we are enhancing the quality of our products using artificial intelligence and allowing the professionals in the built environment to interact with the tools like our color visualizer, which enables them to select the right color and finishes for projects using artificial intelligence, and also cost estimation, which now makes Crown Paints one of the most affordable paints for projects going forward.
Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. We wish we had a lot of time to speak more about.
Oh, thank you, Alan Aoka from Safari Park, for that report. And now we move on. The National Security Fund has undertaken benchmarking mission with other pension managers as it plans to venture into publicly funded projects. NSSF Managing Trustee David Cross says the pension fund will conduct due diligence on any projects before any investment. Cross spoke at the International Social Security Association in Nairobi.
According to quarterly statistics by the Retirement Benefits Authority, total assets under management by pension funds stood at 2.26 trillion shillings by the end of December 2024. This represents a 14% growth compared to the 1.98 trillion shillings reported in June 2024. There has been a push to have pension and fund managers use their strong capital position to fund various projects in the country under public-private partnerships. Already, the National Social Security Fund is in talks with the government to fund the construction of the Rironi-Mau Summit Highway through a public-private partnership.
Our sister scheme in Tanzania was able to invest in infrastructure project, which is a bridge linking one of the islands and the capital of Dar es Salaam, and it has a good return. We learned about the returns from there. We were also able to learn investments in Namibia in health sector. We had a pension scheme in Eswatini, which has invested in the largest tourism hospitality facility.
NSSF Managing Trustee David Koros say the fund will conduct a due diligence on every project before any investment is done.
For instance, in Kenya, there is a desire to grow to 5 million tourists. Where are the facilities? So social security institutions can help put up such facilities. They can help put up more than 5-star hotels so that we grow the tourism numbers that we have.
According to RBA, NSSF total net assets reached 477 billion shillings by the end of December 2024, a 74.8 billion increase from June 2024. Speakers at the just concluded International Social Security Association have said pension schemes are critical in deepening investments in infrastructural projects in Africa.
We have a hydro station that we are currently building. We also own partly a big forestry company.
Our sugar factory in Morogoro region. We have a sugar factory there. Again, we have invested more than Tanzania shillings 324 billion.
According to the African Development Bank, Africa requires 22 trillion shillings annually for infrastructure projects. However, African governments raise 40% of this amount from exchequer or debt, leaving a substantial funding gap.
Agritech wants the government to advance more tax and policy incentives to open up local startups for foreign investments. Innovative finance manager at the Alliance Biodiversity International, DNP Romenza, says there is need for adequate capital to scale up agriculture inventions to increase food production.
Kenya startups received 82.3 billion shillings in venture capital funding in 2024, ranking Kenya the highest recipient of funding in Africa. This represents 29% of the total startup funding in the continent. Agritech innovative
Apologies for that technical hitch on that story, but it's time for sports, so let's get sporty. Kenya's Harambee Starlets will be aiming for nothing short of a win when they lock horns with the CECAFA Senior Challenge host Tanzania in a top-of-the-table clash tomorrow at the Azam Complex in Tanzania. Tanzania's Tigers Stars, who beat Uganda's Crested Cranes 2-0 last night, are still perched at the pole position of the table, tying on 9 points with Harambee Stars of Kenya. A win for either team will guarantee them the CECAFA Senior Women's Championship title held by Uganda. Both teams are unbeaten, with Harambee Stars defeating Uganda and South Sudan by 4 clear goals, each after the opening 3-0 defeat of Burundi. Tanzania beat South Sudan 4-0 before they hammered Burundi 6-0 in the previous matches. Burundi, who are third in the standings with 3 points, will face bottom of the table South Sudan in the last round-robin match tomorrow. Fourth place Uganda are through with their matches. Tanzania are using the championship to prepare for the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations as Kenya's Harambee Stars work towards their qualification against Gambia. Okay. The Kenya National Netball, I'm told that's where we end our bulletin for now, but on behalf of everybody who made this possible, we thank you. We say thank you for watching. My name is Giverson, and of course, our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. See you and bye-bye.
Hii kwenye mkulima.
Tunaangazia kilimo mjini cha mboga za asili.
Wakati unafanya ukulima wako, ni vizuri uelewe unapanda mboga uuzie kina nani. Hawa watu wangependa mboga aina gani?
Na kisha tutamfuga nyenje.